I should have seen it coming, but I didn't. The last few weeks had been a blur of arguments. Every conversation turned into an accusation. I worked too much. I didn't give her enough attention. Then it flipped. I was too clingy. I needed to give her space. I couldn't win. It was a Thursday night when everything fell apart. I came home from work around 6. She was in the bedroom, a suitcase open on the bed, clothes folded in neat stacks. I asked, "What's going on?" She didn't look at me. She said, "I need some time away. I'm staying with Belle for a few weeks." A few weeks? Because of what? Last night's argument. Because of everything. We've been going in circles. I need to think. I tried to talk her out of it. I genuinely tried. "We can figure this out. We don't need to do this," she cut me off. "I'm not asking for permission. I'm telling you what's happening." The finality in her voice caught me off guard. She zipped the suitcase, grabbed her keys, and left. 15 years together, and she walked out over a fight about me checking in too much when she went out. The first night without her felt wrong. The house was too quiet. I kept expecting to hear her footsteps, her voice. Nothing. By Saturday, I wondered if I should reach out. Maybe she was waiting for me to make the first move. So I texted, "Hey, just checking if you're okay?" No response for 3 hours. Then one word, "Fine." Sunday, I called and went straight to voicemail. I texted again, "Can we talk about this?" An hour later, she replied, colder than I expected, "Stop suffocating me. I'll contact you when I want to." I stared at that message for a solid minute. Suffocating. That's what she called it. My checking in, my concern. Suffocating. I typed one word back. Understood. Then I did something I'd never done before. I opened my phone settings and turned off all notifications from her number. Texts would still come through, but I wouldn't see them unless I opened the app. Next, I disabled location sharing. We'd had it on for years for groceries, traffic updates, practical stuff. Gone. I scrolled to emergency contacts. Her name was first. I removed it, added my brother instead. I sat on the couch, phone in hand, feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Relief. She wanted space. Fine. She'd get exactly what she asked for. No more messages, no more calls, no more checking in. If she wanted to reach out, my number hadn't changed. But I was done chasing someone who called basic concerns suffocating. That night I slept better than I had in weeks. No arguments spinning in my head, no replaying of every mistake, just silence. The next morning I made coffee without anyone criticizing how much I drank. Washed a plate without someone sighing in the background. Ordered takeout from the place she'd always said was too greasy. It felt good. By Tuesday, I'd settled into a rhythm, work, gym, home. I called Griffin, a buddy I hadn't seen in months. We grabbed drinks. He asked about her. "She's staying with a friend." "Trouble," something like that. He didn't push. We talked about work, sports, normal stuff. That night, I realized I hadn't thought about her once. At the office, Sloan stopped by my desk. "You seem different lately." "Different how?" "Lighter, maybe," I shrugged. "Just focusing on work." She smiled. "Well, whatever it is, keep doing it." I didn't tell her the truth, that for the first time in months, I wasn't walking on eggshells. I wasn't constantly worried about saying the wrong thing. I wasn't bracing for the next fight. I was just existing, and it felt incredible. One week in, her mom texted me, "Is everything okay with you too?" I kept it simple. She asked for space. I'm giving it to her. The rest of the conversation was awkward. I wasn't going to explain her decisions for her. That Friday, Griffin invited me to a bar downtown. Normally, I would have declined. She hated when I went out without her. But she wasn't here. She'd made it clear she didn't want me contacting her. So I went. Guys from my old softball league were there. Camden laughed. "About time. We missed having you around." No drama, no tension, just nonsense and the game on TV. When I got home, I checked my phone out of habit. Nothing. No missed calls. No messages. Good. She wanted me to stop suffocating her. Mission accomplished. Week 2 felt like something I hadn't experienced in years. Real peace. I woke up at 6 without an alarm, made breakfast, eggs, bacon, toast, the meal she used to complain about. I ate every bite. At work, my focus sharpened. Projects I'd been dragging on suddenly got finished. Sloan said, "You're on fire this week." I shrugged. Just cleared my head. We did trivia night at Foley's. I showed up early. For 3 hours, I didn't think about her once. We came in second, losing by 2 points on a European capital question. Everyone laughed. When was the last time I'd laughed like that? Months, probably. Her aunt texted, checking on me. Things are rocky. You doing okay? I appreciated that she asked me first. I'm good. She needed space, so I'm giving it to her. No judgment, just a check-in. That felt fair. I ran into Wesley from accounting, and he asked the question I'd been dodging. You good? I told him the truth. Honestly, better than fine. I'm fine. My wife wanted space. I gave it to her. Life goes on. He shook his head. Most people would make it complicated. Props to you. 2 weeks in, I bumped into Tucker at the gym, an old college buddy. You finally answer your phone now, he joked. We set a plan to meet Saturday. Saturday arrived, and I woke up with no plan. No errands she'd left. No obligations. I called Tucker. We had breakfast, caught up. He asked, how's married life? I said, currently on pause. He raised an eyebrow. And you're this calm about it? I shrugged. What's the alternative? Chase someone who told me to back off? No thanks. That afternoon, I tackled the garage, something I'd been putting off for months. Felt satisfying. Sunday, I did nothing. Watched football, ordered pizza, didn't obsess over my phone. Griffin texted about next week's softball game. You coming? Yeah, I'm in. It felt good to say that. Week 3, people noticed. You've been different, Sloan said. You're actually smiling. I'd signed up for a woodworking class at the community center, something I always wanted to try. First session, 8 people. Lloyd, the instructor, walked us through the tools. By the end of 2 hours, I'd made a cutting board. Not fancy, but mine. Steady hands, Lloyd said. Natural talent, I laughed. It felt good to create something for myself. Softball practice felt like stepping back in time. The same dusty diamond, the same chain-link fence. Running drills with the guys reminded me who I was before the arguments. Camden pulled me aside. Dude, what happened? You disappeared for 2 years, now you're back. I shrugged. Life happened, then it unhappened. 3 weeks without initiating contact. 21 days without arguing, without feeling like I was constantly doing something wrong. Sloan caught me at the coffee machine. So are you going to tell me what's going on? I poured coffee. My wife wanted space. I gave it to her. She laughed. Most guys would be a wreck. I said, why? She asked for space, I gave it. Everyone wins. Then things changed. Monday morning of week 4 started normal. Coffee at 6, out the door by 7. At 9, I was in a big executive meeting. The presentation went well. Nolan pulled me aside. Excellent work. We're moving forward with your proposal. I got back to my desk around 10:30 and remembered my phone. 87 unread messages. 87. Every single one from her. The first at 8:42. Hey. Then 8:50. How are you? 9:15. Are you ignoring me? The messages escalated. By the end, they were all caps. Answer your phone now. Where are you? This is unacceptable. 23 missed calls. I took a breath, typed, you asked me not to contact you. I respected that. What changed? 30 seconds later, she called. I let it ring. She texted, send a text. I'm at work. Can't talk, I replied. I'm at work too. We'll talk tonight. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You've changed. I typed back, you wanted space. I gave it to you. That changes a person, she called again. I declined. I needed to finish my work. The world doesn't stop because today's the day you want to talk. At noon, Wesley and I had lunch. I told him the story. She broke 4 weeks of silence with 87 messages, he said, astonished. By the afternoon, the calls kept coming. Garrett called to tell me she was losing it, crying all morning. At 4, I wrapped up and texted, I'll call you tonight. On my time, not yours. I took my time driving home. I changed, made a drink, sat down, and at 6 I called. Her voice was raw. Where have you been? She demanded. Working. Grocery shopping. I told you I'd call when I was done. She said. I've been trying to reach you all day. I said. I told you I'd call when I could. I called. Silence. You're being cold, distant. I said. You told me to stop suffocating you. I did. You weren't supposed to mean stop caring. She said, no, I meant you should fight for me. I said, fight for someone who told me to leave them alone. That's manipulation. I don't play that game. She started crying. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I stayed calm. You told me not to contact you. I listened. I made a mistake by taking you literally, but I'm not going to decode what you meant when you used clear words. There was a long pause, then, we need to talk. In person. Fine. Tomorrow at Brian's Coffee 6. She wanted to talk at home. I said no, the public place. She agreed. Tuesday afternoon at work, someone was waiting for me at reception. Mascara smudged, hair all over the place. She had shown up at my office. We need to talk now, she said, and every head in the lobby turned. I grabbed her arm gently and led her to an empty conference room. The walls were glass. People could see us but not hear us. I closed the door. You can't just show up at my workplace like this, I said. You weren't answering because I was working. I told you I'd call. What's so urgent it couldn't wait 3 hours? She looked at me like I'd grown a second head. We haven't spoken in a month, and you're acting like this is nothing. You told me not to contact you. I respected that. Now you're mad I actually listened. I said I didn't stop caring. I stopped chasing. She said she'd been calling for days. I told her what I'd told everyone. I'm not a mind reader. You said stop suffocating me. I treated that as literal. If you wanted me to do something else, say that. She whispered, you were supposed to fight for us. I said, why would I fight someone who told me to leave them alone? She reached across the table. I pulled my hand back. Please, she said, we can fix this. She asked if I was just scared of being alone. She didn't answer when I asked the same. That told me everything I needed to know. I finished my coffee, stood up. Where are you going? She asked. Home, I said. We're done here. I left her at that table and walked out, drove home without looking back. She called 17 times that night. I didn't answer. The next morning, she waited in the parking lot when I arrived at work. I walked past. Security noticed, and a guard approached her. Later, Nolan pulled me into his office. Everything okay? I told him it was a personal matter. Won't happen again, he nodded. Because of that promotion, it's yours. Effective next month. She showed up at practice. Griffin intercepted her. He doesn't want to talk right now, Griffin told her. She left crying. Her mom called again, pleading. I was firm. I had stopped fighting for someone who clearly didn't know what she wanted. That's cruel, her mom said. I said cruel is telling someone to leave you alone and then punishing them for doing it. I'm protecting myself. A week later, she texted one final message. Can we please try again? I'll do anything. I stared at that message for a long time. I thought about the arguments, the tension, the 4 weeks of peace, and then the chaos when she decided she wanted me back. I typed carefully. You wanted to know if I could live without you. Turns out I can, and I prefer it. You tested me to see if I'd fight. I respected your words instead. That's who I am. I'm not interested in relationships built on games and tests. I wish you well, but we're done. I hit send. Then I blocked her number. Months passed. At Griffin's cookout, Hadley pulled me aside. You okay, honestly? She asked. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. At work, I had energy again. Sloan noticed immediately. You look different. I felt different. 3 months later, Wesley asked if I was dating. Not yet. Still enjoying not suffocating anyone, I said. He laughed. 6 months later, I ran into her in a grocery store. She looked tired. She started to approach me. I nodded politely and kept walking. Griffin asked me once if I had regrets, not fighting harder for my marriage. I thought about it. No. She told me what she wanted. I gave it to her. If she didn't mean it, that wasn't on me. A year after everything ended, I was at Tucker's wedding. His bride asked if I was seeing anyone. Not seriously, just taking my time. She smiled. Good for you. She was right. The right person won't make you guess what they need. I'd learned the hard way that actions have consequences. Words matter. And when someone tells you to leave them alone, sometimes the kindest thing you can do is actually listen. She wanted space. I gave her all of it, and I never looked back. Our story ended. I moved on. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. If you like this story, consider subscribing. It helps us a lot. I picked 2 other videos I think you'll enjoy. Click one and I'll see you in the next story.